So welcome back everyone. Today we have ANNU Sharma with us. She recently got placed in Infosys at a package of 9.5 LPA. So today she will be explaining her how she prepared for it, what are the different resources she used, as well as about her interview experience. So coming to you, Annu, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, Akash. As you already introduced my name is ANNU Sharma. I'm from Haryana and currently I'm pursuing BTech from Arya College of Engineering and IT Jaipur. I got placed in Infosys for the role of Power Programmer.
Okay, thank you so much for explaining this. So, Anu, there are multiple ways for applying for Infosys. One of them is InfoTQ, whether you can directly go and apply, and another thing is on-campus hiring. So, how you applied for it?
Actually, it was a campus placement. Placement cell shared the link, and from that I applied. But it's not necessary. We can apply it through Hack with Infi, which is organized by Infosys or InfoTQ website.
Okay, so there are two ways for applying, either going.
Yeah, Hack with Infi and InfoTQ website.
Okay, so coming to the interview rounds, like how many interview rounds were there? I heard and research about it, there are multiple rounds they take. So for you, how many rounds were there?
So there was one coding assessment round and technical interview round.
So can you explain both of them?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, it was a coding assessment round. It consists of 3 coding questions and the duration was 3 hours. So it was not like that means every question have a particular time. It was not like that. The whole assessment was of 3 hours. So we need to solve the 3 coding questions in that particular time period. And coding questions were mainly from the DSA topics like array, string, and dynamic programming.
Okay, so we can consider that it consists of 3 questions and single we are giving 3 hours. Irrespective of the question type, you can take, even if you want to spend 1.5 hour for a single question, you can spend.
Yeah.
And after finishing the exam, when the interview result get declared for this, only for coding questions? So
my interview means my coding round was on 9th Jan and the result was declared on 25 Jan. That shortling one.
Yeah, almost couple of weeks we can think.
Yeah.
Then your main interview gets scheduled.
Yeah, and on 5th on 2nd Feb, I got the shortlisted mail that I will be called for an interview, and on 5th Feb, I got the interview call. Means on after 2 days only.
Okay, so it was an face-to-face interview or online interview?
No, online interview.
Okay, and what happened into that interview?
So in that interview, the interviewer started the interview by introducing himself, and then he asked me to introduce me. So I add my skills to it. Then the projects that I have made, I told him about the projects. Then the programming language which I learned, I told him about the programming languages. Then the languages which I have used in making my projects, I told him about that. And my hobbies, and in addition to this, I also told him about my 4 years of engineering experience. And after that, the technical round, means the technical interview questions started. So first of all, he started by giving 2 coding questions in DSA. So I solved the 2 coding questions, and that those questions were from DSA only, means the array and the string part.
Okay.
And after that, he gave me some more coding questions, which are very basic coding questions, like palindrome, Fibonacci series, prime number, this type of coding questions, and which are most common in most of the interviews. The interviewers mainly ask this type of questions like Fibonacci series, Armstrong number, convert binary to decimal. So this type of questions. So mainly focus was on DSA only. After that, he asked me about my projects, what project I have made, what skill set I have used in that, and what are the programming languages I have worked on. Then he asked me about the computer fundamental subjects like operating system, DBMS, networking. This type of questions were there. So the interviewer also asked me, means he provided me with some situation based question, and I need to verbally answer them. Means I need to verbally build the logic and say, means tell him the logic, that how it will work or how the code will run. This type of questions were also there.
Okay, so he asked so many questions related to this.
Yeah.
If I have to rank it the difficulty level of the interview on the scale of 1 to 10, where you will put this interview difficulty level?
As this my interview duration was 90 minutes,
Okay.
so asked me many things, means like computer fundamentals, coding questions, my projects, and almost everything. So I will rate it 8.
Okay, so we can consider it's a bit hard.
Yeah.
And then after finishing, is the interview finished?
No, after that, he also asked me that as my project was on web development,
Yeah.
so he asked me questions on HTML and CSS part. He also asked me to write some queries on SQL queries. SQL queries also, and the SQL queries questions were from aggregate functions, join queries, group by functions. So almost SQL was completed. Every question was there from SQL part. And after that, he also asked me that recently on which technology you are working on. So I told him about cloud computing. And then he asked some questions, means very basic questions from cloud computing and where you are going to use it. After that, at last, he asked me about that, do you have any question for me? So I asked him that the project which I have made, so do I need to add some features to it to make it much more efficient? So he replied it very gently, and he told me the things which I need to add to my project.
Okay, no, so you mentioned cloud computing, like which cloud you use? AWS?
AWS cloud.
Yeah, I know that at least one cloud knowledge you should have. If you
Yeah.
mention cloud computing. And what about the SQL injection? Like not the SQL injection, SQL like queries. Did they ask you the same question, like finding the highest salary employee and find the second highest salary?
Yeah, first of all, they started with this type of questions only, that tables are given and you need to find out the second highest salary. But if I replied them with one solution, they told me to find out the second solution also. Means this is the first one and now you need to find out the second one also. So this type of questions were there, and joint questions were there. So basically group by questions there were there.
Okay, so I think this the interview is finished now.
Yeah, interview was finished.
And how much time Infosys take to just reveal your result? This interview, to a whole interview.
So Infosys mainly takes almost 10 to 15 days only to declare the result. As my interview was on 5th Feb and my result was declared on 6th Feb, that I was selected for this role.
Okay, I know that we are all are aware about the fact that Infosys, TCS, and Accenture type of companies, they only offer a package around 3.3536 and around 4. So how you feel when you receive a package of 9.5? Might be you already aware about that. You were going to be a power programmer and the package was going to be around 9.5. Still, the happiness is always there. So how you feel?
Actually, it was not 9.5. Previously, it was not 9.5. It was 8 LPA actually. Okay. When I applied for it, it was 8 LPA. But when I got the selection mail and I saw the CTC, it was 9.5. So obviously, it was an increment for me. So in a single statement, I have to say that there was a big smile on my face throughout that day. So it was a very good feeling.
Okay. So which resources you use? for preparation
So
of?
in second year I started from HackerRank and HackerEarth. So mostly I prefer rank, and after that in third year I switched to LeetCode.
Okay.
And for DSA I prefer Gigs for Gigs, because I found it very means every type of questions are on Gigs for Gigs.
Yeah.
So I found it very much comfortable that if I covered this topic from Gigs, so this means that I have covered it. So a satisfactory thing. Yeah. And YouTube channels are also there from where you can learn. Like I learned DSA from Love Bubber and Code with Harry.
Okay, yeah, I also aware about Code with Harry. He explained concept really smoothly.
Yeah.
So anything like any in mock interview you gave?
No, I didn't give any mock interviews. I only read the interview experiences from different websites like Interview Bit. Then many more websites are there from where we can learn. And I also see the interview experiences which are available on YouTube.
Yeah.
Many channels are there from where we can learn those things. So they help me out.
I already mentioned so many resources. I know as the interview process is almost finished and you also have your result. That's a really good thing that you are in the starting when you have a package of 9.5. It's a really great achievement, because we at that time when we were getting hired, only the package was around 3 or 3.5 or 4 was getting offered. But for you, getting a package of 9.5 is really awesome. So Anu, what next you can think about it? Like what's your next step after this?
Obviously, actually means I want to acquire much more technical knowledge, because as a fresher I am very much means much more not aware of the technical things. Many technical technologies are there which I think I should learn, so that I can add that to my resume and make it much more strong, so that I can achieve a much higher position than this that I have now.
That's a really nice thing. Like thinking about the more and more as much you can grab.
Yeah.
So Anu, you then get selected into the Infosys and Infosys TCS, essentially all those standards are really high level. So if somebody have to reach out to you for assistance, like how they can prepare for it. So what's the best platform you can think of? Like LinkedIn is one. Any other?
Yeah. LinkedIn is the one, and other they can also reach out to me on my Instagram account.
Okay.
That's
Okay, no, I will provide your Instagram and LinkedIn handle into the description. Thanks for joining and sharing your experience.
welcome, Akash.